Hi, welcome back out to the channel. I talk about all things related to your health, and I put that East Asian medical spin on it a lot of times because that's what I do in my private practice. I wanted to talk to you about AI technology being used to price goods in the grocery store. And you might be saying, what in the world are you talking about? Well, AI pricing is called dynamic pricing, and Walmart's been testing it. Kroger is testing it in 500 of its stores right now. And so let me read you what dynamic pricing is according to industry. Dynamic pricing is using artificial intelligence to sort through all the data they have on you, to use in-store cameras, scans, to match you to the data and to set prices on the fly off of the AI analysis that's completed. And you know, this AI analysis can be completed within seconds. It's also referred to as surge pricing. Okay, so then how are they going to get the information? You know, how are they going to get all that data? Well, they're going to get it from all the store receipts, so they can track store receipts. Now, being that we're using AI intelligence, you can track sales to weather patterns. You can track sales to key events like holidays. You can track sales to advertising. You can track sales in so many different ways. And from that, you can develop a consumer that would buy certain products during certain periods of time. What if you could attach it to an actual customer? You know, and you knew their gender, and you knew their age, and you knew their race, and you knew where they lived. And what if you could do that and make this data, attach it to something very, very personal? Well, then the amount of information you have, that changes what it can do. And so not only is it going to take this data that isn't attached to a specific customer, but they're also going to marry that with data that's attached to a specific customer. And you're probably asking, well, how are they getting that data? Well, through their mobile app that they've been asking you to use. And Kroger and Safeway are the two that I've seen have been really pushing this mobile app. And how are they getting you to give them the information they need to train their AI model? Well, through coupons. If you use their mobile app, you get these crazy coupons. Like one in my Safeway, it was $5 a pound for ribeyes over July 4th weekend this past year. And then they had sales during the summer when it was excruciatingly hot here, just really brutally hot, for ice cream at $2 a quart. I mean, you know, when people were feeling the pinch in their pocketbook, they were willing to download these super coupons to get that sale so that they could give their family a great treat, right? I have a problem with that model anyways, and it's not just me that has a problem with that model of encouraging people to use the mobile app to get these super sales. That type of marketing is, they say it's biased, because think about how many people have smartphones. A lot of people do, but when you go into certain areas, they might not have the smartphones to download this app and to use it. And if they do download it, it might incur data fees, which, you know, if we're trying to count pennies, some of us can't afford the data fees that these phone companies charge. And then the other person that this discriminates against is our seniors. So is your grandma, your grandmother, and for me, it would be my mother or my father. And they have a hard time understanding them. And if they have any type of brain impairment, it becomes even harder. So I have a problem that the only way that they're going to give you a super sale price is if you give them your personal information. So I appreciate the fact that the consumer is pushing back against that. Yet what I'm hearing Kroger say is they're going to implement this and they're going to use it to deliver lower prices to us. Okay. So I thought I'd go out and I'd read the marketing pitch that these software companies that are delivering this dynamic pricing strategy to the grocery stores. What is the marketing pitch that they're delivering to these grocery stores? Let me read to you what one of the marketing strategies, one of the companies says to a retailer to get them to purchase the software. This strategy tends to be automated and uses advanced data to alter the prices of products as per customer behavior and their willingness to pay. It is highly useful in maximizing profits for sellers and clearing out slow-moving inventory. I'll put a link to that article below so you can read about that too if you wanted to. All the marketing that I've seen to sell this product to grocery stores, I mean, it doesn't sound positive for me, the consumer. And why I wanted to talk about this is because Kroger wants to merge with Albertsons. And in areas where it's merging, it's going to have 70% of the market. There's been some experience with dynamic pricing in the real market. And the one that I have to think about is in the UK with Ticketmaster. They were selling tickets for Oasis, and Ticketmaster used dynamic pricing to sell those tickets. And what they did is they actually inflated the price of the tickets to 2 or more times the listed price of the tickets. So I'm going to give you a link to a couple articles. One is that Oasis fans could sue Ticketmaster over a dynamic pricing model. And you'll also see that that has started a government inquiry and they're looking at fining Ticketmaster. But what about the artists? You know, Oasis. What about these music artists that found out that Ticketmaster is willing to sell their tickets, but now they want to do it with dynamic pricing? Well, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, The Cure, and Tom Grennan, these artists are taking a stand against what they call greedy dynamic pricing after this row over the Oasis tickets. And they're saying that they don't want any of their tickets being sold with this demand-based pricing or this dynamic pricing model. So I'll put a link to those 2 articles below too. So if you want to, you can read through that. So I know that Kroger's testing this on us right now in 500 stores. And I'm wondering, is anybody else concerned about this? Well, I can tell you, yes, a number of our senators have started speaking up against this dynamic pricing model because they're seeing what I'm seeing is I don't see how this is going to benefit me. And I don't see how if Kroger and Albertsons merge and they have 70% market share in some of these markets, how they wouldn't use that to manipulate prices to squeeze more money out of the consumer. So here's what one of the senators said about this dynamic pricing model. ESLs, or also known as digital price tags, may result in Kroger deploying dynamic pricing, so this on-the-fly pricing for goods, increasing the price of essential goods on shelves based on real-time conditions and real-time inventory, and creating both confusion and hardship for many of the residents in this senator's district. She also goes on to say, my concern is that these tools will be abused in the pursuit of profit, surging prices on essential goods in areas with fewer and fewer grocery stores. Does that make sense? I mean, that seems reasonable to me. If they own the market, they could surge the price, and there's not a lot that a lot of these people who live in the area could do, because maybe they don't have time to drive all over town to find cheaper groceries, or maybe driving all over town with the price of gas is not reasonable. Guess what Kroger said? Because I'm sure this is going to super surprise you. But what Kroger said is they denied the allegations in a statement to USA Today, saying that the technology is intended to lower consumer costs. To be clear, Kroger does not and has never engaged in surge pricing, the company said. Any test of electronic shelf tags is designed to lower prices for more consumers where it matters most. To suggest otherwise is just not true. Okay, I hear you. I mean, that's what you've been saying about the merger too. So let me just say that in November 2021, so 3 years ago, the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, launched a study on price gouging in grocery stores, and they asked for data from, guess who? Kroger, Walmart, Tyson. They asked for data from these big retail giants and these big consumer product manufacturers, and they asked them to provide information on their pricing. And here's what the study found. This is going to shock you. During the pandemic, it appears that they were price gouging, that the amount of money they made over and above their total cost has been jumping through the roof. And so let me tell you, for Kroger, from 2019 to 2024, it looks like their profit will have increased 52%. Guess what inflation was in that same time period? 27%. So, kind of makes you wonder, right? So I hear you, Kroger. I hear that you're saying that you're going to be super fair about using AI pricing for the consumer. The thing is, you didn't during the pandemic. And, you can't deny that your profit has been really high lately. So, I want to leave you with one more thing. So this is one of the software products, one of the dynamic software products. So dynamic pricing, remember, it takes data from the cash register. It takes data from that mobile app. It takes data from what's going on, weather conditions, from vacations, from holidays. It takes all this data, throws it into a database, and it starts personalizing the data to the customer so that they can use cameras to scan you as you're walking through the grocery store and target pricing towards you. Okay, this is one of the products that has a dynamic pricing software. Here's what they say to the grocery stores. Imagine you could look into your customer's pocket and see how much they have. And then based on that information, you automatically adjust your pricing to maximize the amount of money they spend at your store. Prophecy uses a powerful combination of technology and science to accurately determine a customer's ability to pay, and then automatically adjust your prices accordingly. This will help grow your revenue, margin performance, and profitability. Okay, so that's the marketing pitch. And that marketing pitch says nothing about figuring out what the weather is so that they can lower ice cream prices for you and me. It's figuring out what the weather is so they can determine if they should raise the ice cream prices or something else. So at the end of the day, this dynamic pricing, what it seems to be doing is it seems to be making us the commodity. As all of our grocery retail stores consolidate into just a few large corporate players, just a couple, instead of having a free market system where there is a tremendous amount of competition, because in a free market system, this dynamic pricing would not work because you could easily move from one store to another. You need the market to be consolidated. So Kroger needs to be able to buy Albertsons to be able to effectively deliver this type of pricing model. Okay, so as our grocery market consolidates in fewer and fewer players, instead of corporations trying to sell a commodity to us, they are working at consolidating the market, the grocery stores, so that they can turn us into the commodity. And when we've become the commodity, then what they're going to do is they're going to farm the data, and they're going to then use that data to farm us and to figure out how much money they can squeeze out of us. So my question to you is, this is what I'm seeing. This is what they're saying, but what are you seeing? Is there something positive about dynamic pricing that might be a benefit to us? And if there is, how would we make sure that it's implemented to benefit us? I don't know. Okay, until next time, I'll catch you on the other side.